I'm going to be ranking the best budget cards in the game. As you guys can see, we have about 25 to 30 of the best budget cards in the game that range from about 3,000 MT all the way up to about 20 to 25,000. I wanted to have some really cheap guys and some really good cheap options while also having some not very expensive, but more on the expensive side of budget cards. And yeah, guys, we're going to have a tier list here ranking from S all the way down to D tier. And in S tier is going to be my top 5 budget cards in the game. Also, guys, let me know in the comment section down below who are some of your guys' favorite budget cards in the game right now, and let me know what you guys would change about my list. But the first budget card in the tier list here is going to be Amethyst Batum. I think for budget cards, he is going to be up there with some of the best in the game, and I think A tier is probably a fair rating. Maybe we'll move him down to B tier. But yeah, if we look at Batum here on 2KDB, he's just going to be a very well-rounded and a very well-rounded small forward, and just a very small forward as a very solid small forward as well. So he's 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan. Defensively, he's going to probably be the best at defense. That's probably what his best thing about him is. But like I said, overall, just a pretty decent kind of average card. And Batum is only about, like, I think less than 10,000 MT right now. A lot of cards have dropped in price since the super packs did come out. Mcadoo, I do like him. I know people are saying he was really good, but I'm not the biggest fan of this Mcadoo card. But he's only 6'9". I guess you can maybe play him at power forward, but he plays power forward and can't really shoot threes, and he's not the best of defenders. But I have heard he's really good. He does have Hall of Fame bully as well. I'm gonna have him in B tier for now, but maybe we move him up into A tier later in the video. I would say Bruce Bowen, and like I said, there's only gonna be 5 cards in S tier. I think for now he's going to be in S tier. He's probably one of the best Amethyst cards in the game. The fact that he's this good on defense, like you guys can see, 90s perimeter, 93 lateral quickness with the 88 steal, and he also has an 82 interior defense and a 70 block as well. So offensively not going to be the best, but he's going to be amazing on the defensive end with also having a 78 on-ball steal tendency, which is really good, especially at this time of the year. So Bruce Bowen is going to be in that S tier category. Danny Green, now this is a tough one because we have some diamonds on the list. You guys can see, Jeremy Shohans, Benedict Mathurin's, Dyson Daniels. Obviously those guys are most likely going to be in S tier. I think Danny Green might also make the cut. I think I'm gonna have to choose. Do I want to go Danny Green or do I want to go Bruce Bowen? And I think I'm gonna go Danny Green because we also have Robert Horry, and I think he is going to be in that S tier category. But if we look at Danny Green here real quick on 2KDB, he is going to be the perfect 3-and-D shooter, or just 3-and-D card in the game. He's 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan, and you guys can see amazing on the defensive side of things. 91 perimeter, 93 lateral quickness with a 90 steal, and he's also gonna have a 93 ball and an 84 mid-range with a really good jump shot as well. A perfect catch and shoot jumper, and he does have the Michael Jordan dribble style as well. So Danny Green is a card that I think is super elite and one of the better value cards in the game. Jamal Crawford, honestly, guys, I don't think is very good. I'm gonna throw him in C tier. And now here's another dilemma. Like, we got Lamarcus Aldridge. Like, he is super elite, especially as a budget card. Is he better than Robert Horry? I'm gonna say yes. I think that might be surprising to a lot of people, but I'm gonna say Lamarcus Aldridge is a little bit better than Robert Horry. Let me know, do you guys like LA better, or do you guys like a guy like Robert Horry better? Maybe not at the power forward position, because I'd say Robert Horry is the better power forward, but as a card, I think LA is just gonna be a little bit better. Amethyst Marcus Smart, I really want to go C tier, but I think he probably is B tier. He is going to provide you some really good defense, but offensively, I think he's a massive liability. Defensively, though, going to be great on the perimeter. I don't like the 42 block. I think that's way too low, especially for a guy that's just here for defense, but he obviously is going to be a great defender on the perimeter. He's going to be decently fast, but like I said, I think he's a super liable on the offense. He's definitely a liability, so I'd probably have Marcus Smart in B tier, maybe going to be in that C tier category. So we also have a guy like Diamond J Rich, and I don't really think I should have had him on the list. He's only about 30,000 MT, which is kind of crazy for how good of a card he is. So he's going to be in my S tier category, but he probably shouldn't be on this list because I wouldn't consider him a budget card. Like guys like Benedict Mathurin, Deandre Jordan, Dyson Daniels, Jaden Ivy, these cards in Jeremy Shohan are like 20,000 MT, and I would consider them more of budget cards. But I think, J Rich might be a little bit higher of a tier than a budget guy. So I'd have J Rich in S tier, obviously, but I think you guys can maybe not count him. So maybe I'll have 5 other cards in J Rich in that S tier category. Theo Ratliff, I think is solid. I don't think he's much better than a guy like Mcadoo, so I'm gonna have them kind of in the same tier. Looking at Dwayne Wade, this card's not good, man. He is really bad. I would rather Marcus Smart. I would rather a bunch of different point guards over D Wade. Yes, he's gonna be okay going to the basket. He's gonna be a solid defender, but I think his Amethyst version is absolutely terrible. I will say this Amethyst Bull card is a lot better than I thought it would be. I'm not exactly sure what his price is, but the fact that he can shoot threes and he has that good of a jump shot is super valuable for being 7'2" with a 7'7" wingspan. I know the speed's super slow. I mean, 65 strength isn't that bad considering the fact that Chet has 45 strength. Like 65 strength isn't that bad, but yes, I know he's a liability on defense. He's going to get post spin and just mash in general a lot, but offensively, he is going to be a really good stretch big, and I think for budget cards he is definitely going to be in that A tier category. Benedict Mathurin I think is the best budget card in the game if you want to consider him a budget card. Maybe you guys don't want to consider like a 20,000 MT card to be budget. I kind of do at this time of the year. I think right now it's easy to make MT, and I think 20,000 is kind of the cap for a budget card. Anything over 20,000, 25,000 is probably not considered budget, but I think 20,000 below in my opinion is kind of going to be budget. So Benedict Mathurin 1000% going to be on that S tier. Amethyst I really can't put higher than B tier. He's a good 3-point shooter. He has some decent dribble sigs, but other than that, I mean, I don't think he's much better of a point guard than a guy like Smart. Obviously, he's way better on offense, but he's definitely going to be a liability on defense. So Curry, I think, is going to be kind of in that B tier category. Looking at Diamond Deandre Jordan. Now, once again, I think you can maybe consider him not a budget card, but if you do consider him a budget card, I would say he's going to be in that A tier category. And if you guys are like, oh, I don't consider any of these diamond cards to be budget, then just forget they're on the list, right? So for example, if you don't think the diamond cards are budget, then these two are going to be my guys in S tier, and then we won't count Benedict Mathurin or J Rich, but I do consider them kind of high expensive budget cards, but still going to be in that budget range. Looking at the next budget card is going to be Andre Drummond. I don't think he's very good. If you want an inside big, go Theo Ratliff or go Bob Mcadoo. Pau Gasol, I don't think is very good either. Maybe he should be in B tier because he can shoot, but I think realistically he's going to be in that C tier category. Looking at the next diamond here is going to be Jaden Ivy, and I don't think he's actually an S tier card. I think he's going to be kind of in that A tier. He's a good point guard. Like if you look at him on 2KDB here, he's definitely a good point guard, but jump shot definitely lets me down a little bit, and defense is terrible for a point guard. So not a good defender, but good offensively, going to the basket, gonna have a good driving dunk, you know, good speed with ball, good speed, and he does get some good dunk animations. So Jaden Ivy, oh, this is his Sapphire version, my bad. But yeah, still the same thing. Defense not going to be the best. Jump shot I think is a little bit too slow and not the easiest to green, but overall I mean Jaden Ivy going to be a very good card. Looking at the next Amethyst here, or next budget card I should say, is going to be Amethyst Jordan. I'm gonna go B tier. I think he's better than a Jamal Crawford, but nowhere on the level of guys like Bruce Bowen, you know, and those type of shooting guard cards. Dyson Daniels, once again, if you guys want to count, you know, diamond cards and you want to count these 20 to 25k, are definitely going to be in that S tier category. I mean, Dyson Daniels, he's a 6'6" point guard. The fact that he's only 20,000 MT on the auction house is crazy to me. He's 6'6", can play the point guard position, has a really good player model, and he's going to be a great defender, really good at going to the basket, and overall one of the better point guards in the game. So obviously going to be in that S tier category. Amethyst Kawhi, I think it's going to be kind of in the same tier as Jordan, not as elite as a guy like Batum at the 3, Bruce Bowen at the 3, or a guy like Robert Horry. So I think B tier is going to be fair. Scotty Barnes, really not the best. He's kind of just average at anything. He's just a way worse Batum. He was obviously really good when he came out because he was like one of the only good cards in the game, but at this time of the year, Scotty Barnes, I think you could argue is probably in D tier. But just because I'm a Raptors fan, I'm gonna go C tier. But you know, actually, no, he's not even on the same level as guys like Pau Gasol, Jamal Crawford. He's just not even on the same tier. So we're gonna have to unfortunately throw Scotty Barnes in that D tier category. Jeremy Shohan, I think is gonna be in that A tier category. I think he's kind of on the same level as a guy like Jaden Ivy, kind of like DeAndre Jordan. I mean, definitely really good cards, just not on the same level as, you know, my guys in S tier. Sean Livingston, I think is actually very solid. I'm gonna throw him in A tier. I think he's a 6'6" point guard, and he's basically just gonna be a decent amount worse than Dyson Daniels, but not a crazy amount where he's going to be in that B tier category. Tyson Chandler, I think is a nice, really good budget option. I think he's one of the better inside bigs that are budget. Like if you don't want to count DeAndre Jordan as an inside big, I think he's the next best. He's probably the best inside big on this list if you don't want to count a guy like DeAndre Jordan. But if we are counting him, then he's probably going to be in that B tier category. Jerry West, god awful. Wilt Chamberlain, probably going to be in C tier. I hate this Jerry West card. I think he's absolutely terrible. Wilt Chamberlain, I don't think is very good as well, because I mean, if we look at him on 2KDB here, unless I'm tripping, like he doesn't even play that good of defense. I know he's 7'1" with an 8-foot wingspan, but his speed's going to be really low, only a 78 block and an 80 interior defense. Like, I think Tyson Chandler is a much better inside big. So yeah, I would rather Tyson Chandler over Wilt Chamberlain. I'd rather a guy like Pau Gasol. Maybe Drummond and him are kind of similar, but I'd definitely rather a Tyson Chandler, a guy like Theo Ratliff, or definitely a guy like Deandre Jordan. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, who are some of your guys' favorite budget cards in the game right now? And let me know what you guys are changing about my tier list as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.